Welcome to Black History with Mr. Dodson. Today, we will be learning about the Great Migration.
The Great Migration was the relocation of more than 6 million African Americans from the rural South to cities of the North, Midwest, and West from about 1916 to 1970. World War I transformed Black migration to northern cities into a real option. With the outbreak of hostilities in 1914, the European War dramatically reduced European immigration into the United States and jump-started the American industry as it became a source of manufacturing goods to the soldiers. Suddenly, a huge demand for labor in the urban North emerged without a local source to supply it. Where years before the color line in the North industry prevented African Americans from obtaining jobs, suddenly, industrial leaders were so eager to hire black workers that in 1916, recruiters went to the South to bring black workers to such cities as Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit, and Indianapolis. Fueled by this early encouragement, migration north became a fever that spread by word of mouth through the South, and entire black communities picked up and left Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas for good. Approximately 500,000 migrated to the industrial North in the period between 1916 and 1919. Then, as World War II began, a black mass migration exploded, and about 5 million African Americans left the South. However, those who migrated in the second phase of the Great Migration were met with housing discrimination, as localities had started to implement restrictive covenants and redlining, which created segregated neighborhoods, but also served as a foundation for the existing racial disparities in wealth today. During the Great Migration, African Americans began to build a new place for themselves in public life, actively confronting racial prejudice, as well as economic, political, and social challenges to create a black urban culture that would exert enormous influence in the decades to come.
And that's another moment in American history.